Okay, this will be objective or standard number 9. The first objective that we're supposed to meet is professional learning experiences. I'm really busy, always trying to keep my plate very busy. Apart from Teach Now, which I think has been a great help with my teaching, in addition to that, I am currently finishing up my graduate program from West Texas A&M University. It's in finance and economics. That keeps me busy as well. So I have a lot on my plate, but that's one thing that's definitely having me grow. In addition to that, as you'll hear in my mentor interview, my mentor went to a CIE training course I believe it was in March. She came back and she taught me a lot about the CIE. A lot of this you can find yourself on their website if you have access, which I do. But she did come back with some useful information, some packets, etc. And the CIE actually notified me and said that they're holding a 5-week online course from June 3rd to July 9th. And they asked if I wanted to be a part of that, and so I signed up for that. So I'll get a certificate for that. But that's part of the online, part of the professional learning experience. I definitely believe that you should always be learning. More information will be in the mentor interview about this. Apart from that, I do believe that a lot of things you just kind of learn yourself. I really like a website called the Teaching Company, and they have some great videos. This one's called The Art of Teaching: Best Practices from a Master Educator, and it's 24 videos or lessons, each one from anywhere from 30 to 45 minutes, and they kind of teach you a lot of the just kind of the main things on how to teach to become a better teacher. In addition, here's another one. It's about comparative educational systems, and they're very lightning. They only take about 30 minutes to 45 minutes each. They come from renowned educators. This one is actually done by a history professor at Emory College. And so those are also things that I really enjoy to help with my professional learning experience. In addition to that, we have weekly meetings as a staff. But actually recently, because we are doing CIE testing, we haven't been doing that because when we usually have tests, when we have meetings, we've been doing tests lately. But we do mention that quite a bit in the mentor interview as well. Apart from that, the next one is I'm going to just kind of take the next two and put them together. And this has to do with use of data to evaluate outcomes and then also responsibility for learning, especially the students' learning. This actually comes from a meeting we had. It's an annual report meeting that we have with the CEO and the principal of the school, in which we are supposed to reflect and kind of use our formative and summative assessments that we've had over the year. This was actually in February that we gave this report, February, March. We gave this report and we kind of gave a formative or an assessment of where we were and what our plans were to do, of what to do in the future. This was the IGCSE. There was currently 8 and sections, and we were on 5 at the time. Kind of telling them what kind of formative assessments we use with them. These are the list of grades that we had. Mike's highlighted in red because he seems to be a struggling student. Here you kind of see our struggling students as well, the big zeros as well. Sylvie right here actually dropped out. She's going to Canada next year, so she's no longer in our school. These are the test results that we had. These would have been the semester results. We can see that you can see that there's a drop from the average from B to D, and what I came through this assessment using data to evaluate outcomes is that during this time This test that I gave relied heavily on reading, and I told the management that they have their reading level is not sufficient enough to be able to take the IGCSE test at the end of the year. They can't even understand the question. If they can't even understand the question, they will not be able to understand the they won't even know how to answer the question. And so you see this problem as well. Um, these are some of the future plans that I had with them as well. And we also do this for AS as well. Once again, data that we use with each of the individuals, identifying those that might need help. Actually, those that are in red dropped out of the economic program. So this is kind of foretelling these grades. These are their test grades as well. So I think I do have great responsibility in my students' learning, assess them. In addition, you would have seen in, I believe, Standard 8 how I was also doing qualitative assessments as well on their behavior. So these are future plans that I have as well for them. Now, understanding culture, ethnic, and gender learning differences. This one was a little bit difficult for me to find stuff to talk about, but this is what I came up with. This is actually just me at a parent-teacher conference meeting. We're talking to the parents right here about their economics. Here's another one of me talking as well. The ones that I will talk about is I was assigned to give a speech, and this speech was in front of the whole school, as you can see right here. It was given in front of the whole school, and the topic that I taught about was actually economics. This is kind of my speech in English and Chinese, but it was about globalization and how our cultures are colliding. China and the United States are colliding, and English. A lot of people aren't going to need English. People are going abroad, and how this globalization is going to affect them. So this is one thing that I talked about as well. This was like I said, this was a speech given to the entire school, as you can see. It was a little frightening, but my background in business, I'm used to talking to large groups. It really wasn't that bad at all. The other thing that I would like to talk about as well is teachers, foreign teachers, are asked to write for our school magazine, something that I actually set up. I helped organize, set up, named it, all that kind of stuff. And this one is about different perspectives. It really talks about the cultural differences and the need for us teachers that we're kind of stuck between the Chinese pedagogy and the English pedagogy, and just the need to be able to have different perspectives. I kind of stole an idea from my father and a lesson that he uses about how you can see this picture and that there's a young lady and an old lady, and how people have different perspectives, how there's a need for teaching, for differentiation, how students might learn differently as well. And so I think this definitely hits the cultural, ethnic, gender. I also did a PowerPoint. I am the foreign head teacher, and at the beginning of the school year I gave a PowerPoint about the cultural difference between China and America, especially for our new staff that will be teaching here for the first year, that culture shock. And so I couldn't find that PowerPoint, but that's another thing that I was actually asked to do as one of the leaders at our school. Lastly, I think the one thing that I would like to also present as well is professional ethics, standards, and law. Um, this one is actually the YouTube video that we were assigned to do at the beginning of the at the beginning of the Teach Now program. These are 3 Chinese policies that affect foreign teachers. We had to learn about, of course, the laws. Some things that I chose were the laws that are affecting us, the standards um, that China is having. For example, now in China, you have to have your degree verified, which has actually been a pain for a lot of for a lot of foreigners. I know I'm going through that right now. I talked about the background uh, of Chinese education as well. 9-year compulsory. Let's see. The problem with overcrowding, talking about the Gaokao, uh, how that is affecting, how that's actually affecting our international schools. About talking about the new foreign work permit policy as well. We just went about that as well, the different classifications. Um, and then other things as well. As it comes to professional ethics, you can see in all of my pictures, and um, we try and dress as best as we can. I know recently I was just looking back on my videos, and it shows me always wearing sweaters and stuff. Um, I know when it gets warmer, I usually try and wear ties um, that are more visible. But we don't have central heating up here, and it can get pretty cold. And so all the teachers are wearing some. We all wear really big jackets and such. But I think that pretty much hits it. A lot of the other information that I didn't hit here will be found in my mentor interview.